What's up, you guys? We're back again with another Total Gym upper body workout, and this one is going to be doing chest and back with some little bonus exercises that I showcase towards the end. I will put timestamps down below so it's kind of easier to kind of follow along if you guys want to follow along with this workout. The bulk of this workout is really utilizing those loop style resistance bands onto that weight bar attachment that I just did a recent review video on. I can link both those things, the actual product, and the video down below as well. The bulk of this workout really is right here in this first sequence, which this first circuit is going to be just doing this weighted chest press, and then I'll turn around and do a double arm row. I do this actually for 6 sets. It just felt so good. I actually almost made the whole workout just these 2 exercises. I did go on to kind of venture off and do a couple other things, as you guys will see. But if you guys don't have this weighted bar attachment, you could always attach these loose style resistance bands to the upper portion of the sled. As we're going here though, guys, if you guys like this content, please like and or subscribe. Always helpful and beneficial. I commented in that review video that normally when I do double arm rows, it feels fairly easy, and you can see here I'm crossing, doing a cross row. I think this feels, I like the way this kind of targets the back a little more so than the regular kind of setting that you kind of have. But I commented that normally this double arm row is kind of hard to give a lot of attention to because it just feels a little bit easier. But with these resistance bands, it feels really good. You can see in this first set, I just left the setting exactly the same. And I think this is the second to lowest, maybe the middle ground undersun band, which again, I like those undersun bands because they have such nice even tension compared to my other loop style resistance bands, a little more of a harder tension. So I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds rest here if you guys are following along, or later on you want to follow along. I just gave you about 20 seconds rest on some of these exercises just to transition to. We're just going to go up and back to the exact same setting up for the exact same double arm chest press. You could always raise the incline, lower the incline. I left the incline exactly where it was, and you guys could obviously, make the bands heavier or lower. I do end up messing with the band tension as we kind of progress here, but I thought this was hard enough. I didn't say what the rep range was. You can see I'm almost kind of not trying to really get to failure, but it pretty much is failure. I think I was trying to shoot for like 10 repetitions. That's kind of what I was going for. I do take this squat stand off, and then I realize it works on this one, but you have to leave that on because that's what anchors the bands. I didn't think about that, but later on I do put that back on, so you'll want that there. And that's pretty much it for this whole first circuit. I just kind of do this for, again, a total of 6 sets. I up the band tension. I do kind of start flipping on the band tension in different settings for press compared to the row. I do end up getting the purple band on my Somehow set. I put that on there. Even though I like the other resistance band better, I just use the other set because I got them, might as well use them. It's a little more stiffer, so I used my heavy purple one on the rows, but there's no way I definitely couldn't use the purple for the pressing. It would just be too difficult. I won't put as much of these countdowns. I only put them in as necessary as like a transition space. Otherwise, you guys will still see this countdown throughout the exercises, signaling that the start of each exercise. Otherwise, a lot of these are going to be kind of more or less kind of supersets back and forth, but I put them in when they're needed just to give you guys time to transition between exercises. So you can see here, starting back up the third set with this first circuit. So that's it with this first sequence. I will touch back with you guys on the second sequence or second circuit. All right, you guys can see I'm missing my last set of these rows. This gets pretty heavy when you guys put on that, at least that purple one for me. This next one, I'm putting a very light band on. You can almost could say you don't even necessarily need a band, but that definitely, even that very light undersun band, which I've said this many times, on that undersun pack, one of my favorite parts of those undersun resistance bands is the fact that they have that really light, thin resistance band, which I use a lot. It's usually like a perfect setting for a number of things, just like this one. Even though it doesn't seem like a lot, that little bit of tension makes a difference, especially for something that is kind of difficult to do, especially at a moderate to high incline, which is these just basically these chest flies. So getting a nice kind of deep angle. I kind of lean back and rock back a bit, not just because it does actually hit your abs, but it kind of just gets a nice little angle in the chest, doesn't put as much pressure on the shoulders. So that's why I kind of lean back slightly as I do it, or put my legs out. So find that angle that works for you. I think I do, as you guys saw a second ago, a transition between like leaning back and kind of digging into it. But then the next thing I'm going to do is, you guys can see the little attachments up there already, and so I did attach my secondary handles. I've said that in a lot of videos. I just have that secondary handle with next to a pair of carabiner clips. I just attach those up there instead of putting the pull-up bar attachment. It definitely works kind of a different angle, so it's kind of up to you. But as this countdown, once this kind of times out, I'm going to be jumping onto just prone, face down, the basic total gym pull-ups, which again always feel good, a great exercise. And optional here too as well. You don't necessarily need to do this, but I'm kind of keeping the theme of the workout and leaving my resistance bands on there. I go a little bit heavier with the tension than I did before, but this is pretty difficult. The only thing that kind of stinks with this is that you do kind of start, the heavier the tension, you start kind of sliding. So you'll see me in later sets, I kind of transition and I kind of scoot down, and then we'll get my knees to kind of anchor myself. Right, I think you're going to see it right here. I kind of spread my legs out a little bit, and I'm going to try and anchor myself down to the weight bar so that it kind of essentially braces myself at that lower angle. I think you should see it, yeah, right there. So kind of weird little position to get into, but it works, especially if you want to go a little bit heavier and keep yourself anchored. But probably just as good, you could just raise the incline in retrospect, but the tension does make a difference. I've showed a couple other resistance band ideas you can do as well, just throwing the resistance bands around the tower too and pulling up on there. That's another option that's actually, I think, very hard as well. So that's pretty much it. After this sequence, we'll go back into that drop step fly, that kind of fly, and then go back into the pull-ups. And then I'll check back with you guys very shortly, just showcasing and talking about some of the random other exercises, kind of filler exercise I did toward the end of this workout. All right, so this was the last set here. As you can see, I went from flies right into presses. I skipped my other set of pull-ups. You guys could go ahead, pause the video, do another set of pull-ups here if you guys wanted to. But in this circuit, I'm just going to show you guys a few random selection of exercises. I've said this a lot. I have a couple of videos. I just call them freestyle exercises. That's how I really love to use this gym. Just for me personally, I like to kind of switch things around, go off a feeling, do a lot of random things. Yes, they're definitely, and I think it helps actually for making this content for you guys. It forces me to kind of stay on track for a set number of reps and keep things more in order. But a lot of times I'll be jumping around a lot. So at the end of like an ordered workout where you guys are seeing here, I'll jump to something like this where I'm doing some touch-up stuff, like some touch-up chest stuff. I took the weight bar off and the bands off. I go ahead and do some curls here. Generally always kind of save my bicep curls, tricep extensions, even abdominal stuff like that. I put that towards the end of the workout. I usually don't put that in the front, although sometimes I will. So even though this is more chest focused, I might hit some secondary shoulder stuff. As you guys saw, some frontal raises. I'm just getting a little bit more tension, just a little more reps out of this workout, just for the heck of it, because I feel like I could use some extra. So never, if you ever feel like you're doing either my workout or somebody else's workout, or just you're following something, if you feel like you can do a little bit more, I'm not saying to kill yourself, but if you feel like you just want a little bit extra just to kind of top things off, and that's what kind of feels good for the day, just go ahead and do that. Just doing some pullovers. These are kind of like, I just call them kind of like swimmers. Those are some good exercises. They kind of work the lats as well. I'm just doing some tricep extensions, and I pretty much just kind of rotate through this little sequence. The only other thing that I think I will add in here, you guys will see some later on in the video here as this kind of rolls out, is some lat pull downs. I put the weight bar back in, and I think I put the purple one on, or maybe one of the under some bands, but I'll do some lat pull downs with the resistance bands attached to the weighted bar. I said that in that review video for the weighted bar that was actually a really good exercise, because normally I like that lat pull down. I feel like it'd be a good exercise, just generally doesn't feel that good. So I think that's right here. I'm going to slide this weight bar in. I'll see what kind of band I put in here. I want to say I do a purple. I think I do a purple, but I might slide off this. I'm going with the yellow, orange one. So go with one of those undersun ones. But lat pull downs feel really good with some band tension. So that's what this is right here. Feels very similar, very similar to a lat pull down you would get in the gym. And you can see here, this is another added benefit to using this setup that I'm talking about versus the putting the pull-up bars in. Having the handles attached to a high setting like this allows you to really get this exercise in particular, kind of get a little more range of motion, a little more tension on the exercise versus you'd be kind of pulling pretty short if you did the other way I was talking about. So that's about it, guys. You guys will see some of the rest of the stuff I'm kind of pretty much doing out, pretty much the similar stuff, bicep curls, tricep extensions, some other kind of pullovers and presses, just to kind of fill in the gaps of this upper body workout. That was it. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Any questions, comments, feedback, it's always appreciated. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Science told us how we could dream.